Hello, it's me again. We're going to go over ankle mobility, which is another favorite. One of the things that we found from all the research is that 99% of every injury starts when we had an ankle sprain when we were kids. So this is really, really important. It's something we don't ever think about, especially if you're a runner or any kind of athlete, pickleball player, you name it. You need that ankle mobility. And what I'm talking about is more of the dorsiflexion part. So when you have your ankle, right, you got the point, which is the plantar flexion, and you got the dorsiflexion. You can see I can point a lot more. I have more range of motion than I actually have dorsiflexion, and that's what I'm talking about. So I want to improve that. So we're going to start by clearing out these muscles in here. Now, if you have a knee condition, you probably can't do it. I'm going to show you, but if you do have a knee condition, what you can do is you can kind of place that ball and put some pressure on there. If you don't have a knee condition, what you're going to do is you're going to take that ball, place it right there, and again, if I'm really sore, I can place a yoga block to sit on. And what I want to do is I want to clear out this part of my ankle. This is where all the scar tissue happened from the sprain, right? So in this position here, I'm going to take my toe, I'm going to move it out. And notice how I'm pushing down that ball. This is one I do regularly for the last 7 years. Now my toe is neutral, and then now my toe is going to go in. How long do you spend on each of these spots? I usually spend about a minute on this area. Then I'm going to start up here. If anybody's ever had shin splints as a runner, I'm going to clear out this muscle here. I'll start there, about 10 seconds, and then I'll move. And again, as I'm moving down, think about, I'm starting here, I just move down a ball, and I just move down, and I hold it in that spot for 10 seconds until I get down to the ankle. Now the next one I want to do is going to work on these muscles on the inside. When we sprain our ankle, this ligament down here along with the ATF, they get injured, which interferes with my ankle mobility. So I can take this ball and I can press on it. It's one way of doing it. Or I take this handy dandy yoga block or a book. I'm going to take my leg on top of that. And again, notice how it's relaxed. If I want a little more resistance, I'm going to put my leg on top. Now, the biggest mistake people make is they want to move it, right? It's time and pressure on these spots that gets it to feel better. So I'm going to lift my leg up, and I'm going to get to the next spot, and I'll put some pressure, and I'll spend some time in there. If it's really tender, I'm going to spend a little more time. And again, if there's any numbness or tingling, any bruising sensation, get off of it. Then I'm going to also go into my calf. And the reason we have tight calf muscles is because we lack that dorsiflexion. And so when we hit the ground, we walk, we're not getting a lot of that dorsiflexion, we're getting a lot of plantar flexion, which is engaging and impacting my calf muscles. So doing all these things I'm doing here today is not going to help you as much if you don't do it every day. So doing this up every day. And then I'll switch to going on the inside, and I'll kind of switch back and forth until I get all the way up here. It hurts a little bit, so I'm gonna have to relax that foot a little bit, so I'm not gonna put any pressure. So those are those two for the lacrosse ball there. The next one I'm gonna show you is over here, and it's called ankle mulligan. I take that band, resistance band, I'm gonna step out as much so I feel like it's pulling on my ankle. And I can be in this position, I can hold this for a minute, but I can also kind of do some joint mobilization where I go in and out. And what we want is, we want our knee to go over our toes. And if we're not doing that, that's what we want to work on. And again, holding it's one way, and then motion is another way. 1 minute of holding it, or 2 sets of 10 with the motion to help get that ankle joint to move a little better. The last thing I love to do is a stretch. So you get one of those half foam rollers, and while you're brushing your teeth in the morning at night, you're putting your feet up there to stretch out that calf muscle, and it goes all the way up. It's harder for me to do two. Well, actually I can do it. So this is kind of what I'm talking about. 2 minutes, twice a day, while I brush my teeth, work on the ankle mobility. So those are 4 exercises to do.